and welcome to this week's reading vlog. This week my plans are quite simple. I want to read Oathbringer by Brandon Sanderson, ideally volumes 1 and 2, but if I only get through volume 1 then I'll be happy with that. I also want to finish off listening to the audiobook of Charmcaster by Sebastian de Castell. These are the only books left on my TBR that I did at the start of the month, and so if I can make some decent progress through both of them, ideally finish them, then I will count this month as a great success, despite the little slump that I've had over the past couple of weeks and the fact that I perhaps haven't got as much reading done as I would have liked to have done, as I usually would, just because I've been so busy. I've had many extra shifts to work this month. I've had a few other things going on as well, so I just haven't been able to read as much as I would have wanted to. I feel like I've been saying that a lot recently in vlogs, but it's definitely been the case, and it's really frustrating. But hopefully things will change in the future and I will be able to get back to a lot more reading. I think next month is going to be a make or break month because I have 2 readathons next month that I want to participate in. I will be doing a separate video with my TBR for September because I need to fit in the prompts for the Magical Readathon, hosted by G at Book Roast, and also for Bookopoly, hosted by Becca at Becca and the Books. So there will be lots of reshuffling of prompts, lots of things to get sorted. I'm really excited to actually get to play the Bookopoly game anyway, so that will be a separate video coming soon of my TBR. With that in mind, I obviously don't want to be carrying over too many partially read books into September, which I have to read on top of everything else that I'm going to have to read. So, as I said, Oathbringer and finishing Charmcaster is the order of business for this week and the 2 days of next week before September starts. So I'm going to head out into the garden right now, sit and do some reading of Oathbringer. I may insert some footage here of me actually receiving the order of Oathbringer the other day because it was a satisfying unboxing and I just was so excited to have that one in my collection.
Look what's arrived.
If I can get it out of the box.
Yay! We have both volumes of Oathbringer. I'm so happy to be adding these to the collection and hope I can get around to reading them very, very soon. Also, I've just noticed that the covers go together and make one picture, which is really, really pretty.
I need to also purchase Rhythm of War and then I will own pretty much every Sanderson out there. So I have a full shelf now devoted to Sanderson, which is very exciting. In fact, I can show you actually. Let me show you my shelf.
So here we have my entire collected works of Sanderson. And this one is coming with me right now. So let's get going.
Hello again. So it's about an hour later. I've read about getting on for 100 pages, 97 pages of Oathbringer, which I have here. And I'm really, really enjoying this book so far. I'm just so happy to be back in this world. It's only been a few weeks since I finished the last one, but I'm really, really pleased to be back with these characters. And I think every book within Stormlight that I pick up, I'm loving more and more just because the characters are becoming familiar, the setting's becoming familiar, and I'm just rooting for them all so much. And I'm so excited to see where this story goes. The stakes are definitely a lot higher. Things are ramping up plot-wise. And it's just a brilliant read. Also, I love Sanderson's writing in this series. I think some of his other ones, it hasn't particularly gelled with me. I think Mistborn actually was the biggest example of that. I liked it, but I didn't love it. Whereas in Stormlight, for some reason, the way things are described and the way that Sanderson writes, the dialogue and things like that really seems to be gelling with me a lot more. So it remains by far my favourite Sanderson series, or standalone, just works in general that I've read, and I'm very, very excited to carry on reading this. So I think I'll try and get through a little bit more of this one tonight. Today is Monday, by the way. I don't think I actually introduced this vlog properly at all, but today is Monday evening, and I'm making the most of a little bit of sunshine and hopefully reading a little bit more of this one. The next few days are quite busy for me, so I may not get too much reading done. I have a lot of tennis matches this week, so I think 3 of my evenings this week, the next 3 days, I will probably struggle to read more than about 30 pages or something because I'll be exhausted when I get back from tennis at 10 o'clock at night. So we'll see, but a little bit more progress can be made this evening, and then we'll see after that. Hello, so today I am having a delightfully relaxed and lazy morning. It is the weekend, I have nothing particularly to do with my day, so I've finally been able to have a lie-in, which has been most welcome. It's not something I've been able to do for a very long time. and I plan to have just a nice chill day with lots of fun things and absolutely no responsibility. So I've been catching up, watching a lot of YouTube videos this morning, absolutely nothing of importance, but I've really enjoyed myself. There's lots of channels I love out there that I just haven't had time to watch videos from recently, so that's been a great way to start the day. And I'm planning to go out for a walk shortly, have a little look at some beautiful harvest time scenery. I love this time of year. I think everything just looks so full of life, and you're just on that turning point of summer being absolutely at its height before you then start the descent into autumn, which is actually my favourite season. So I particularly like this kind of August-September transition. So I shall go out for a little walk, hopefully listen to a bit more of Charmcaster, my audiobook. And then when I get back, I think I want to do some baking. I haven't made a cake for ages, and I think I'm going to do a lemon drizzle cake. I'm really in the mood for that. So that is the plan for the rest of the day. I'm probably going to take quite a lot of B-roll footage today, so please enjoy what comes next, and I will catch up with you again soon. It is Monday evening. I've just got back from work. It is a bank holiday Monday here in England, but sadly that doesn't mean that I have to stop working, so work I have been today. So I'm hoping to get a little bit more reading done this evening, but it does mean that I have been very much amiss with this vlog this week. I've really been slacking. I've only filmed, I think, 2 sections, one of which was yesterday, so I really haven't been doing a huge amount of filming at all because of the busy week that I've had. As I said, I expected to not get through very much this week, so I have decided I'm going to roll this vlog over to include some of next week as well. Definitely today being Monday and Tuesday, and then we'll see with the first few days of September whether I just have the whole 2 weeks and go up to the 5th of September, or whether that ends up generating loads of footage and I want to make a separate vlog. But I think most likely it will be a 2-week vlog again, which I don't mind doing. I think I'd rather go on how much content I've got rather than a particular set time period, but I don't know. Let me know if you have any thoughts on this. But the goal for this evening is to try and finish part 1 of Oathbringer. I have about 150, 170, something like that, pages left, so it should be achievable. I may end up sitting up quite late this evening to do that if I've got other things to get done first, but I'm determined I am going to finish this book before September starts. And then next week, into September, I will be reading probably part 2 of Oathbringer, along with finishing off anything else I've got to read. We will see. It will be the start of my September TBR as well, which is quite ambitious, so stay tuned to find out what I next pick up. But yeah, this evening, relaxing and finishing Oathbringer is the order of business. Hello, so it is very late, and forgive me if I'm looking a little red in the face, I've just got ready for bed, but I had to check in just to let you know I've just finished off reading the first part of Oathbringer by Brandon Sanderson, and I absolutely loved this book. Really excited with the plot development of this. There have been some major developments in the plot, and I'm really excited where things are going, so I cannot wait to get to the second part of this next week. I don't want to give too many thoughts or spoilers on this book, as it is obviously only part 1 of the book and book 3 of the entire series, so I can't really say too much, but rest assured this was another 5-star. The series continues to impress me and I am absolutely loving what I'm reading. I cannot wait to get to part 2, and I'm hoping that will be the first book in September that I do get to. So a thumbs up from Sanderson once again from me. Tomorrow was actually my mum's birthday, so I probably won't get very much read in that day, and then finish off reading Charmcaster, and after that I'll be on to my September TBR. So a pretty successful month so far, but oh my gosh, I loved this book so much. It's absolutely amazing. Hello, happy September and welcome to the start of my 2 readathons for this month, Bookopolython and the Magical Readathon. The first book I'm going to be picking up for these readathons is the second volume of Oathbringer by Brandon Sanderson. I finished volume 1 last night and I'm thoroughly enjoying the way the story is going. It's really good so far. Can you hear the drilling in the background? I'm sorry, there have been builders and people working on cars and gardens and all sorts of noise all day, so forgive me if I don't leave this update any longer. But yes, so Oathbringer is my prompt for Bookopoly for big book, over 500 pages. This one is 740 something, so definitely qualifies as a big book. But I'm hoping to get through this in the remainder of this week. Potentially reading something else alongside, I don't know. I do still have the end of Charmcaster to finish listening to. That is a carryover from August, but I'm sure I'll get through that pretty quickly. There's only about an hour and a half, I think, left on the speed that I listen to it, so that should be fairly achievable. And this evening, Becca is hosting some sprints on her channel with other bookish friends, so I will be definitely tuning in to watch those and use that as some motivation to get some of this book started. So, welcome to September, and let the reading commence. I'm just checking in with an update on my progress through Oathbringer because I'm getting on reasonably well considering it's still a busy work week as usual. I've now read I think about 150 pages and I'm really enjoying what I'm reading as per usual with these books. They are brilliant, they're so well written and I'm so into the story and the characters now. Gosh, sorry, it's very sunny, terrible lighting here. I'm so into the story at the moment now that I could read honestly these characters doing anything and I'm sure it would be entertaining. So we're having a bit more of a development of the wider plot of the story at the moment rather than just our main characters' individual storylines. So there's more development on the kind of backstory of Roshar and the history of the Knights Radiant. We've had a lot more discussion about the gods and a lot more political story as well with some of the rulers of different areas that Dalinar is getting in touch with. And it's all coming together quite nicely and escalating in severity, which is what you'd expect at this stage of a series like this. But I'm really enjoying everything I'm reading so far. We've also had a couple of characters that I really liked actually in previous books, but I've only played small roles so far, make a reappearance. So I don't know if their roles are going to increase or if they'll stay as kind of cameo characters, but both of them I really enjoy. So fingers crossed we see more from them soon. So I am heading off to tennis this evening, so I probably won't read any more today, but hopefully in the next couple of days I'll be able to make a bit more progress on this book. I am probably going to have to finish this half vlog, whatever this is going to be at this point, on Friday evening because this weekend I'm actually away, so staying with some family, but I'm not going to be able to get any reading done or any vlogging done, I imagine. It'll be quite a busy trip. So this will end up being kind of a week and a half vlog, with the end of August coming into September. But at least it's all cohesive, everything will be in one place, and then next week I can start with a full week and carry on as normal. Normal service will be resumed. So I will chat to you again very soon once I have a little bit more to report. Hello, it is Friday evening. I've just got back from a walk on which I have finished off listening to Charmcaster by Sebastian de Castell. It's taken me a little longer than I planned to read this book, but only because, being an audiobook, I'm only listening to it when I either have lots of time at home to sit and do nothing, which very much never happens, or when I'm actually out on walks or on journeys, which I haven't had a huge amount of time for recently, but this evening was a good opportunity. It's lovely and sunny outside, as you can see by the horrendous backlighting behind me, and as I said, I had a really nice time finishing off this book. I have particularly enjoyed this one because of the formatting. So the last two I read physically, I read as books borrowed from my library. This one has been in audiobook, and it's definitely a series I would recommend listening to the audiobooks of. It very much works for the type of story because it's quite fast-paced. You don't feel like it's taking hours and hours of listening to actually get anywhere with the story. Also because most of the story is told through dialogue and through characters' internal monologues and conversations with each other, so it works very well in a verbal format. And not least, of course, because of the fabulous audiobook narrator Joe Jameson, who is one of my favourites, and I would listen to anything he narrates pretty much. He has such a good voice for it. So, a very successful book for me. As with the rest of the series, I've given it 4 stars. This was higher up the 4 stars because of the added elements of interest for this particular book. And I was quite impressed with the plot of this one as well. I think book 2 felt a little bit like, not quite a filler book, but it was one that had to happen to allow the rest of the story to continue. Whereas this one, I feel like we've made a lot more progress with the main plot, with the kind of overarching story, rather than specific little bits of story that get wrapped up by the end of the book. We've seen a lot of development of our main character, Kellen, a lot of character changes and growth, really, just as he gets older, as he has more experiences and makes mistakes and learns from them, you know, the usual stuff you'd expect from a YA, but very believable development as well. I think that's something I mentioned, I think, at the start of reading this book, that the characters feel very believable, even though it is a fantasy book. They're written as behaving in exactly the way you would think a teenage boy would behave, or a world-weary warrior, or whoever the characters might be. You see them behaving in a way that is appropriate, and the young characters make stupid mistakes and have behaviour that you would expect from somebody of their standing in life, you know, so it makes it feel a lot more authentic, and I really think that's a positive point. The characters remain one of my favourite parts of this book. I still absolutely love Farius. I also have a very soft spot for dear little Rikus, the very badly behaved but actually quite sweet underneath squirrel cat. It's still the most incredible name for an animal as well. What is a squirrel cat, really? Where did that come from? It's brilliant. So yeah, all in all, a very successful book, another 4 stars, and that's the carryover from the end of my August TBR now completed, which is a very good thing. So I think that will probably be it for verbal updates for this vlog. As I said previously, I've got a lot of plans this weekend staying with family, so I'm not going to be able to have any time to vlog or probably read very much either. We are hoping for some nice days out, so I will possibly insert some B-roll footage after this just for you to watch and enjoy, hopefully, but I don't have a huge amount more planned reading-wise for this weekend, which is okay. Sometimes other things need to take precedence, as much as I would love to sit and read all the time. So I will wrap up this vlog here. As I said, you might see some more in a moment, but this will be the last of me talking. So thank you very much for watching. As always, give me a like down below if you enjoyed it. Chat to me in the comments about any of the books I've read, anything else you'd like to discuss with me. And please consider subscribing if you would like to see more from me. It really, really helps. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you again next week very soon for another video. Bye for now.